got a question that we're going to answer later on, but first let's get to the books this week. Age of Ultron came out. Have a look at this. It's actually got a chromium cover, just like back in the 90s. This is kind of like an Age of Apocalypse style book. We're just thrown right into the future. Ultron is taking over. There's a bunch of Ultrons running around. The superheroes have like this underground, you know, like movement or whatever, trying to go against him or just trying to survive at this point. Hawkeye's a total badass. He's just killing motherfuckers left and right. For what is discernible, he goes after Spider-Man, and these drug dealers they have Spider-Man kidnapped, like, you know, hostage or whatever, and they're pushing MGH, which to me doesn't make a lot of sense, because how are you getting the MGH from Spider-Man? Do you have, what reason do you have for having Spider-Man and pushing MGH? I don't get the connection, but it's the Owl and Hammerhead, and they have Spidey hostage, and Hawkeye breaks in, and all of a sudden the Ultrons attack, and I think they kill Hammerhead and the Owl, and Hawkeye gets out with Spider-Man, and then he gets back underground, and he's attacked by Luke Cage and the She-Hulk, and Cage is yelling at him. He's like, "We told you if you went after him, you weren't allowed back in." Like it's some fucking secret club. Like, you know, why would Cage act like this? You know, I get desperate times, desperate measures and all, but it's not something he would do. And Hawkeye's like, "I told you I wasn't leaving him behind. We've got so few friends left. You know, I wasn't leaving him behind." So Stark comes out with this thing that it looks like the arc reactor, not the arc reactor, the Matrix of Leadership from the Transformers. He puts it over their mouths, and you know, their chest lights up and shit. And he's like, "Nope, they're clear." And they're looking for some sort of infection that Ultron infected the humans with, presumably to turn them into robots or something. And the final page is, you know, Hawkeye and them's talking. It's like, "Well, listen, you know, this is the last, you know, of the heroes that are left and whatever. So what are we doing?" And he's like, "Well, we're working on a plan." He's like, "Oh, is that what you call it? Well, whose fault is that?" And you just see Captain America like fucking crying in a corner, like a little child in a fetal position. Whatever. I don't know if I'm that interested in it, but I know it's gonna cycle through like every friggin' title that I read regularly, so I don't think I'm gonna have a choice but to read it. So I just might as well read it. Let us know what you thought. It's an okay start. It just throws you right in. So, you know, as is the case usually with Bendis and a lot of these other writers, they thrust you right into the heart of the story, and then they will backtrack and explain it later. Jeff Johns just recently did that with Green Lantern and the First Lantern, and now we're seeing it again with Age of Ultron. Let's move on. Fly, Volume 2, Number 5, concluded. If you've been following this, it's one of the only things I've really paid attention to from Zenescope that I've stuck with. The story is about this drug that gives people the ability to fly, and it also develops other superpowers, and later incarnations of the drug get more and more powerful, and they give you other kind of powers too. Like, you know, your weed dude always has better shit this week than he did last week. It's just like that. The fly drug gets better with every incarnation. And the dude that is running the company that makes fly, this guy Francis, his family, his parents were killed by this cable-looking guy with silver hair that could fly and everything. We didn't know anything about him in Volume 1. But now in Volume 2, we went into a little bit more of the origin, where this guy killed Francis's family, and then Francis has spent the rest of his life trying to kill this dude and going after him. And what we find out is that Francis killed his family. He put a bomb in his house that killed his wife and his other little girl, his daughter, because, well, you killed my fucking parents, I'm going to kill your family. But the thing that they have, and now this whole book, this series, Volume 2, has been about this guy going after Francis, and Francis was trying to kill his other daughter, who happened to be the new girlfriend of our main character, and basically it was their fight and everything. Now they're both superpowered, but this guy with the silver hair, cable-looking guy, he had powers to start with. He never took fly. The fly, my guess, was synthesized from him, like from his blood or something, and it was probably Francis's father, who was also like a chemist that you found out in the first volume, he probably kidnapped him somehow or tricked him one way or the other into giving up his blood, and that's how they made the first fly serum. So he was probably pissed at that, and that's why he killed this guy and his wife. And presumably left the kid to survive. Because, well, it's fucked up, you don't have to kill the kid. So then the kid grows up, kills his family, and he goes after him, and it's just a whole cycle of revenge. And now the next is to be continued in Fly Volume 3. The cable-looking guy is dead. Francis is acting like a real dick, and he tells his buddy, like, you can never beat me. You were never able to beat me. I know you hate me now. Just let it go. Because if you come after me, I'm going to kill you. All in all, this is a great series. And I'm really looking forward to being right about the whole connection between Francis's dad and this other superpowered guy and how the fly serum came about. I'm assuming we're going to learn about that in Volume 3, but you could do a lot worse than pick up the fly trades. Volume 1 is definitely out from Zenescope. Volume 2 expected probably within a couple of months or so, or you can get the shit on eBay for, I don't know, probably like 10, 12 bucks, whatever. And I'm going to have more to talk about eBay a little later on. Green Lantern 18, something finally fucking happened. It's about goddamn time. Basically, Simon Baz is pulled out of the dead zone by Bidge, the other little squirrel Green Lantern. He's in there. He was trying to pull Hal Jordan out of the dead zone that he was thrown into by Black Hand last month. But as it turns out, Sinestro just like basically decked Hal Jordan, beat the snot out of him, and ran out instead of Hal Jordan. So now it's Simon Baz and Sinestro that are going to take on Volthoom, the First Lantern, whose origin we finally fucking learn a little bit more about. He was a space traveler who arrived at the time when Cronus was going to look at the creation of the universe. And as the universe was created, he looked like an astronaut from space, from Earth. And as he arrived, when Cronus first looked at the creation of the universe, the light of creation hit Volthoom. And it was absorbed into him, and he became the First Lantern. He is the light of creation. He is the entire emotional spectrum of light. And the Guardians basically wanted his power. First they was like, hey, you know, we was back here. We didn't get none of that light. You want to share a little bit? And this guy was like, fuck you, little dudes. Fuck you, motherfuckers. So he goes off and just, being the power-hungry, presumably Earthling that he is, he just starts killing shit, you know, just fucking things up. And the Guardians decide, we gotta stop this motherfucker. So they somehow imprison him. They can't kill him. They cannot destroy this guy, because if they destroy him, then the whole universe dies with him, because he is the light of creation. The Guardians cannot destroy him. They have to imprison him. And he is the reason that they created the Manhunters in the first place, to defeat him and siphon off his power to make the emotional spectrum, to make the Green Lantern Corps, etc., etc. So, what's his name? Tomar Ray, I believe it is, one of the fucking, you know, goblin-looking Green Lanterns. He's dead, and he's telling Hal Jordan, who got, you know, assed out of the boat ride back home, he's like, well, what do we do now? And he was like, well, Sinestro's going to try to take on Volthoom, and he's going to lose, and then all hope for anything is gone, because as Volthoom gets stronger, these manic, you know, creations, these constructs that he's making. Remember last time we talked about GL, I was telling you is that he's making these past scenarios for the Green Lanterns and everything, and he's siphoning off of their fear and their despair by changing the past into just fucked up scenarios, like Guy Gardner accidentally kills his brother and sister, or Kyle Rayner breaks up with his girlfriend, and then he winds up living with his dad and never becomes a Green Lantern, and he never knows his mom or whatever. He's changing the past, and the more powerful he gets, the more these scenarios will become reality. So he's literally changing reality. So we get a little bit more of an insight into how this guy works and what his powers are as well. So Hal Jordan's like, well, I gotta get out of here. I gotta do something to stop this. How do we get out? And Tomar Ray tells him the only way to get out, the only person who ever made any kind of connection from the dead zone to the outside world was Black Hand, and that was during the Necron invasion. But you can't be a Black Lantern because you're technically still alive. And the last scene we see is Hal Jordan looking over a precipice, and he's like, well, what if I'm not no more? So you basically, he's just going to jump off of this precipice, kill himself while he's dead, or whatever, and become a Black Lantern. And somehow transcend from the dead zone back to reality. If we remember, we were given insight into the Book of the Black that Black Hand had, and in it, he read that Hal Jordan will be the greatest Black Lantern, and that's why you can't kill him. So he's like, well, what? How's Hal Jordan going to be a Black Lantern? And frankly, all of us were like, what? How's Hal Jordan going to be a Black Lantern? Well, it's all kind of coming full circle now. Jeff Johns is good for this. He always makes these really big, encompassing stories. And truthfully, it's a little hard to follow, but once it all comes together, it's fun and it's good. It's just a goddamn long ride getting there, and a lot of people will argue that it's a longer ride than it needs to. He tends to take the scenic tour. But it seems like it's finally starting to get like some meat to the story, and it was good. It was really good. Also, going on this week, really, I think my book of the week was a toss between Animal Man and Swamp Thing, number 18, where I fully expected them. Now, last we saw of Buddy Baker and Alec Holland, they were transported back out of Rotworld by the Parliament of Decay, and they were sent after Anton Arcane. And I really thought that this was going to go on until issue 24, that there was going to be another big team-up and another big fight with Arcane. Didn't happen. These issues ended the story. Buddy Baker and his daughter, Little Wing, defeat the Hunters 3, these decayed monsters, and Little Wing basically being they call her the All-Mother, like she's, the mother of life or whatever. She pulls the life that was the Hunters 3 out of them and kills the decay, because it's like, well, that's the cycle of life. You live, you die, you live again, fucking unto dust you shall return, and this and that, and from the dust, new life springs and all that kind of crap. So she pulls the life back out of these decayed evil creatures, and so they're defeated. The other little asshole, the little Arcane kid, he gets decked by one of the Hunters 3. You think he's fucking dead, but he's not. So right at the end, he goes to kill Animal Man, and his son gets in the way. He kills him. They kill each other. He just stabs the kid in the stomach, and I think he snapped his neck or fucking elbowed him in a world piece or whatever. And that's where it ends off with Buddy Baker's holding his son Cliff, and it looks like he's dead. And obviously they weren't going to kill the little kid, his daughter, but I was actually kind of surprised to see them kill his son, even though he's like a teenager. And it's less taboo, I guess, to kill a teenager than it is to kill a little kid. But that always happens. I always felt that it takes a lot of balls to do something like that in either comics or in movies or something. They very rarely will kill a kid, because that's the only thing worse than killing a kid is like killing a fucking dog in a movie. A million people die and you kill one dog, the fucking movie's blacklisted. So. Credit where it's due, man. That takes a lot of fucking guts to kill a kid in a story, and I did not expect it. Even with the funky, short hairdo and the, party in the back, business up front mullet that the kid was rocking, he didn't deserve to get fucking stabbed by a little Arcane. So next issue of Animal Man is called Funeral. Swamp Thing 18 sees Swamp Thing going to save Abby Arcane from Anton. He kills that present-day Anton. He rips him in half, which was a really cool scene. And then he is followed by Rotworld Arcane, who is like, when you're playing like a role-playing game, like Final Fantasy or something, and you kill the boss, and then you go save the princess or some shit, and then you turn around and, oh, motherfucker, there's the boss, and he turns around, and he's got this crazy big-ass form, like his second form. Well, that's like Anton from Rotworld. He's just bigger, badder, meaner, everything else. And he's chasing Swamp Thing. He locks the door, like this big castle door behind him, and he goes to save Abby, and Abby tells him, you can't save me. You have to kill me, because that's the only way that I'm going to be able to become what Anton is. I need to become the avatar of decay. Like you are of the green, and Buddy Baker is the avatar of the red. I need to be the avatar that I was always meant to be, because when I denied my right to do that, Anton took over, and he fucked everything up. So if we don't want him to do it again, I have to die, and I have to become the avatar of the rot. And reluctantly, Swamp Thing kills her with just like some tree roots through her chest. After a whole big splash, double-page splash of, no, I can't do this, I just got you back, I can't lose you again. Well, alright, if that's the way you want it, right through her. So then she comes back as like this winged succubus type of thing. Looks like Morrigan from Darkstalkers on a really bad day. And she kills Arcane, throws him into the Parliament of Decay, and they kind of rip him apart and just fuck his ass up. And then it looks like the human forms of Alec Holland and Abigail Arcane die, and there's only Swamp Thing and, you know, whatever she is now. We'll call her Succubus, for lack of a better term. That's all that's left. And you see within, like, you know, the Haven of, you know, Green or whatever, the Grove of the Swamp Thing's Grove or whatever the hell it's called, the Parliament of the Green, like the trees and the grass and the flowers grow over their bodies and kind of like encase them within some crazy shit. But it was a great end to the stories. I'm glad to see it end on such a high note rather than have to drag on for like another 6 issues. If you did read these, definitely hit us up. You know the drill. Questions@PetesBasement.com, Facebook.com/PetesBasement, and follow us on Twitter. If you've read Animal Man and Swamp Thing and you want to talk about it, you know, hit us up. We always love hearing from you guys. That is the reason we do this. We love talking shop with you guys. Orlin Velez hit us up, and Orlin wanted to know, where do you sell your comics that you don't really want anymore, and where is a good place to get like the bags and boards for the books and everything? A couple of answers to this, Orlin. First of all, anytime I want to sell like my newer books, you know, stuff that I've read and I don't really feel the need to keep, I enjoyed it, I read it, and I got no real, you know, there's no kids I could give these books to. Me and the boys trade them back and forth, and that's how we get like through all of our hauls and everything. But if I'm looking to sell them, I just sell them on eBay. It's the easiest way to get rid of new books. You're not going to get your money back for them, so don't try. But, you know, I try to get a little bit of chump change. I'll usually start all of my auctions at $0.25 and, you know, let it go up from there. Sometimes they sell. Sometimes they'll sell for $10. Sometimes they'll sell for a fucking quarter. You know, you never know. And I'll usually try to couple a bunch of books together. Like Fly, for example, I may not keep this, but what I'll do is I'll take Fly Volume 2, 1 through 5, set them up on eBay for $0.25. If it sells, it sells. Maybe I make $5-6 back. Whatever. You're going to take a loss on new books. Unfortunately, they're not worth the paper they're printed on. They're just fun. And if you keep them as your collection or to pass on to someone else. If you got a niece or a nephew that you think might enjoy it, if they're old enough to appreciate these things, because a lot of comics ain't for kids no more. Don't get your shit twisted. eBay's the best market for new books. Like I said, you're gonna kind of get screwed on the back end. You're gonna lose some money. As far as like older Silver Age books and everything, if you've got it graded, if it is CGC'd, your best bet, you could use eBay. It may go for less than what you want. Another 2 good sites are ComicConnect.com, which is run by Metropolis Comics, and ComicLink.com. ComicLink just recently ended a bunch of auctions in February, really high-end Marvel stuff, a lot of 9.4s, 9.6s, but they are really good for picking out, like, you know, holes in your Silver Age collection, or like I said, if you want to get rid of some of that. I don't know if that's the market you're going for, but those are definitely cool sites if you want to check those out. I actually just managed to pick up from eBay an original copy of Superman #12. I got this at a steal. It's a raw copy. It's not in the high grade. I'm hoping to get a 2 out of the deal. I'm going to submit it to the CGC because when it comes to old books like that, a lot of people don't like the CGC, but I do, in the sense that they are the best protection for your comic books. They put it in an airtight seal and then put it in a plastic case. As far as bags go, Orlin buddy, I will hoard every bag that I get whenever I buy shit on eBay. If I buy a lot of new books, and, you know, they come bagged and boarded, I always replace my regular boards and bags with the resealable ones that have the glue tape in the back. But if you're going to get, like, you know, there's a lot of people on eBay that they don't use those bags and boards because those are good. So they'll give you like the regular scotch taped ones, and whenever I sell stuff on eBay, I use those boards to just transport it because it's a real safe deal. I don't recommend using those, like just the bags that you would scotch tape kind of closed, because you know, you don't want your book to be subjected to the elements, and you don't want it to be, you know, having the air get to it and everything. And if you're not in a temperature controlled room, there's going to be shifts in hot air and cold air, and that's how books get soggy, and then they get cold and they get brittle, and that kind of temperature change is no good for old books. You'll find a lot of old books are in these like open plastic cellophane containers with just the board slipped in. I don't like these. These are open on top. I don't know why people do that shit. Point is, Orland buddy, Ramon told me about this website called bagsunlimited.com. They've got a whole mess of comic supplies. They've got boards, they've got bags, they've got boxes. They got everything you could possibly need. They got folders, they got binders and shit. The more you buy, the less you pay. But I still find that they are a tad bit expensive. I didn't see what I was looking for there. You know, I say it all the time, but Midtown Comics, I get a lot of my supplies from there, and I will usually just make an investment at some point, usually the beginning of the year, and I'll buy a whole mess worth of bags and boards, and I'll have them shipped to me. I think if you go over like $100 or something, the shipping is free, some shit like that. It's some number. But I try to order, several. They come in packs of 100, and I think the bags are like $5 or $6 for the resealable ones, and the boards are like $8 or some shit like that. And I just order like maybe 5 of each, so I've got 500 bags and boards, and that'll usually get me through the year. Because like I said, I don't keep every book I read. I'm only saving the ones that I love, like Spider-Man, G.I. Joe, shit like that. Everything else, I read it and move it on down the line. So if that's what you're doing, Orland, I would definitely suggest you hit up the Midtown Comics website and check out their bags and boards. They are the resealable ones, and those I think are the best things that you could use for your comics. The glue tape lasts, so you can read it, close it, open it up again in a year. It still works just fine. It's not like the tape is going to lose its consistency. I mean, if you'd sit there and do this for fucking, 3 weeks on end, it's probably going to lose some consistency. But I wouldn't worry too much about that. I'm going to turn you over to the rest of the fellas, and have a good week, guys. We'll see you next one.
Anyways, let's start. First is Boom Studios Fairy Quest #2 of 2. Now at first I was like really iffy about this, like 2 of 2, what the hell can be done in 2 issues? It was a really good introductory story. At first, I think I reviewed the first one, I was suspecting like some weak Fables knockoff, and it has a whiff of Fables in it, but it's different. It's almost cartoony, but it's obviously not. I mean, especially when the main villain is erasing people's minds and stuff and whatnot. And it promises to be big and epic and more stories and whatnot, and I recommend it. It's 2 issues, so it's not a crazy investment. It's 2 issues. If you like it, go for it, check it out, and that's it. What are you gonna lose? $6? $8? Come on, we spend more on stupider shit, which I will review later on. Dark Horse Comics, 47 Ronin, 3 of 5. I am really enjoying this a lot, and it surprises me. That's why I'm reviewing it, not because it's good, but because it surprises me how good. I mean, if I reviewed everything was good, Roger and Steve would kill me, because I like a lot of shit, as you probably see from my haul. That aside, it's great. It's a story of a lord of a castle disrespected by another lord and supported by the shogun, even though the shogun wasn't technically wrong in his support. I mean, he was misled himself, and how they're going to rise up against that betraying lord, hence Ronin, masterless, a masterless samurai. It's good shit. Dark Horse has always consistently been #3 in the comic book world. DC and Marvel fighting over number 1 and 2. Image lately has been trying. I mean, a lot of companies have been trying to bump them off, but really, Dark Horse, I believe, is still holding on to it in my eyes, and it's earned it. Next, Colder, number 5. Wow, wow, this finished, and this is, I recommend you pick this up. If not the separate issues, definitely the separate issues. The covers are gorgeous. Even though I'm pretty sure a trade would pick up all the covers in the back or some shit. It's good stuff. It's weird, it's twisted, it deals with insanity and somebody who eats insanity and cultivates insanity, you know, to it's like marinating somebody, you know. So this guy is crazy, so he's gonna marinate you in your crazy sauce to eat you later on, and it's damn. And I mean, the art is crazy, and the first thing that brought me and Pete into this was the crazy cover of like getting his finger through an eye, and it happens again. And I mean, I put my fingers in a lot of holes, but never in an eyeball. Okay, leave that alone. But as you can see in this image, oh, it's just crazy. It's some good shit, good stuff. DC Comics, and I guess the first disappointing thing I'm reviewing is Before Watchmen, Rorschach, number 404. I'm glad it's over. Most of the Before Watchmen books are kind of fizzling out for me. I don't know. I mean, I like Minutemen, I like Ozymandias, but I really like the art more in that. I don't know what else is coming out. I don't know. I think they're milking it a bit much. There's some extra shit coming out, but I like Night Owl. Yeah. So, yeah. Batman Detective Comics, Requiem. Now, I guess this deals with the death of Robin, but it also deals with Penguin. And the guy who replaced him, his former assistant, who calls himself Emperor Penguin, and how he's using Penguin's own schemes against him, which is awesome. It's just some good shit, and an introduction of a potentially very good villain. And it also shows us the origin of Zaz. And yes, it deals with the death of Robin and the consequences of it, and it's good in that sense, I guess. But I took out of it more that this new villain and how the mission continues. Yeah, you know, you lost your son and shit, and that sucks, dude. You know, it does. You can't lie, it does. But the mission is there, and you know, Batman's not gonna stop. He's not. Next we have Fairest, number 13. This finished a story arc involving Rapunzel, and the cover's awesome. It's Rapunzel riding the big bad wolf, also known as Bigsby Wolf in the series, and it's awesome. Again, they went into Japan. If you've been seeing previous episodes, they went into Japan, and they had issues with Japanese folklore over there, and Fable is just awesome. It makes you really just want to read up on fables of Japan and stuff like that. If you had the time, you know, if you didn't read 40 books a week or some shit like that, like some people right now, shall remain nameless. But anyways, moving along. I read Green Arrow 18, The Coming of Komodo. I didn't know what to expect. You know, everybody recommends it. I am on the TV show and I like it. I know the TV show is off. I notice little things, even though I'm not a fan of Green Arrow originally. But I was like, okay, I like the TV show. People say good shit about the comic book. Let me get on it. I'm on it. I like it. It's not great, but this is my first book on it. Maybe I should go back a couple of issues. What do you guys recommend? Where should I go back? I mean, 17? Considering this is second part of the story arc. Further back? I mean, it's only 18 issues. Maybe I could find a trade or something. What do you guys recommend? Let me know. But I like Green Arrow 18. Let me know at questions@peacebasement.com, which is just more than just questions. Comments, suggestions, reviews. Green Lantern number 18. Oh, Jesus. Blah, 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 blah. What a surprise. Hal Jordan's going to be wearing yet another ring. Black Lantern. Blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I don't care. Hal Jordan's rocked every single ring. And the difference I feel between him and Kyle's having done it now, except for the black ring, is Kyle kind of earned it. And when it came to Hal, it was more like, how cool would it be to see Hal have this ring? How cool would it be to see Hal in that ring? That's what that was, I think. But, that's just me. Moving along, I don't really care for this whole First Lantern thing. It seems, Sinestro's awesome. Even Black Hand's awesome. But this First Lantern and Hal Jordan, I refuse to call him the Green Lantern because it's fucking several dozen human Green Lanterns. Anyways, Phantom Stranger, number 6. I like the Phantom Stranger. It's some good shit. He's looking for his family. I think they've been kidnapped. And he's having issues with it because normally he's a cold-hearted bastard, but obviously he's had a human side recently with his family, and he's trying to juggle that. So he goes to Vegas, of course, and as you can see in this image, he's playing poker with the Sons of Trigon, and dealer is Lady Luck. And it's awesome. It's really cool, and it's interesting because you know, when you mention Trigon, the first thing you think about is Raven, which is mentioned in this book also, but seeing the Sons of Trigon there, that's cool, and how they're different. They're different aspects and shit. And it just really fleshes out more DC's mystic realm and stuff like that, which is good, because they're really doing a good effort into pursuing this, which is more than Marvel ever did. I mean, I hate to compare the two. With Doctor Strange and Voodoo for all of 3 seconds, and it was just, anyways, it's a good book. I recommend it. Again, it's only up to issue 6. Get it. Honestly, get it. Moving along. Superman, number 17. Hell on Earth. See, the problem with Superman is you need a very strong supervillain to fight him. Yes, strong. I said strong. And strong meaning really powerful. That includes Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor is unbelievably powerful because he's unbelievably brilliant. In the issues of Superman, we've seen the prison they've kept him in, and it's an impressive fucking prison. It's what he designed himself too, which is hilarious. That aside, Hell happens to be an extremely powerful character. More powerful than Superman. He's whooping his ass throughout his whole story. And spoiler alert, he snuffs Kara or some shit, and she happens to land next to a piece of kryptonite, and she stabs him with it, and that's how this shit ends. Okay, no, it doesn't end that way, but I'm not going to spoil the whole thing for you. Fuck that. Okay, wait, I am. I'm sorry. I take that back. No, fuck that. So he's shocked, and of course she's, herself getting sick, and he disappears. Except he disappears into the past to Krypton, where Jor-El finds him, and that's how it ends. Feel free to send me your opinions on that at questions@peacebasement.com. I look forward to reading them. Huntress, Power Girl, World's Finest, number 10. This deals with the death of Damien too. Somewhat. It also deals with Power Girl and, surprise, surprise, another guy she's banged. Again, I have issues with the way they're portraying Power Girl. She's more of a hoe. I'm sorry to say. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's fine. Don't tell me you're trying to clean up a character and then give her a new costume, but it's always rip it off, and no. And now you're going back to the old costume right here. I read, whatever. Huntress is having difficulties with the death of Damien herself. They met briefly, and I guess that's kind of sort of her brother from a different dimension, even though, come on, I've heard of brother from another mother, but brother from a different dimension is a bit much. But moving along, it was okay. IDW, Jinn Rise. At first I was like, ooh, a genie book. Let me get it. Honestly, I shit you not. That's why I picked it up. And I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. This is the 3rd issue, and I like it. All right, so the aliens attack this Earth, and this kid with a genie whoops ass, and it's just, you don't add it to aliens and genies, but it did. And damn, I like it. I like it a lot. The art's a little funky, but good. The cover is more funky than the art inside. it's kind of hard to tell how this alien looks in the cover. But that aside, it's just good shit. I like it. It's entertaining. It's funny. Witchblade 164. I haven't done Witchblade in a while because it's Witchblade. It's issue 164 and it's retconned, redone, revamped. I forgot the story arc where Sarah Pazzini and the Darkness pretty much recreated the universe, but in reality it was the Darkness that recreated it after Sarah killed her daughter, Hope. And now the Darkness is in Chicago and Sarah's going to fight the Darkness, and the Darkness, being the Darkness, is like, no, wait, hold on. I'm not the bad guy here. You are. You're the one that killed your daughter. Yeah, I took her away from you in this universe because you fucking killed her. I'm in the right. And she's like left in the fetal position. Wow. And damn. This is the second story of Progeny. The first one happened in Artifacts. The next one is in Darkness. We'll just revamp the universe back into the way it was before. Don't know. I would recommend people pick it up. Preferably Artifacts, the last one that came out, which I believe was 25. What's next? Okay. Don't shoot me. But I was surprised I liked it so much. I don't even know why I pick up this book anymore. I tend to forget what books I want to drop because I pick up so many. Anyways, Avengers versus X-Men, or A plus X, whatever. Or Avengers and X-Men. Anyways, A plus X5. We have Iron Fist and Dupe. And then we have Mr. Sinister and Loki. Yeah, Loki's a young Avenger. Mr. Sinister, I guess, is an X-Men villain, so he got somewhat part of the X. Whatever. Dupe and Iron Fist is just an awesome, funny story. And Mr. Sinister and Loki is it's an interesting story. Mr. Fantastic created the Thor clone. Dr. Doom wanted to create it as Guardian clone too. Loki wasn't feeling it, so he supports Mr. Sinister's breaking into one of Doom's castles, and eventually he lets Mr. Sinister keep the DNA sample because he believes Sinister can't accomplish it, while Doom can, because Doom is more of a magical scientist than Sinister is. Sinister's like all magic, but we all know that's not going to happen. Something's going to come out of this, and I find that interesting. Okay, next we have up is Age of Ultron Book 1. Cute, nifty, old school cover aside, I didn't like it. First of all, it starts off with today. No, it's not. Obviously, this is a different universe, or maybe not obviously, but it has to be a different universe because today there are other issues that came out. They're fine. My theory is, okay. First, how I felt about the book. The art was okay. And why I say okay, because one, I have issues with Hitch's facial artwork. A lot of the scenery he did was gorgeous but unnecessary. The first first 4 pages are 2 spreads that I felt were a bit unnecessary. They were just trying to, it was a big event they're trying to sell, right? So they do these big ass spreads. Boom, look at this, the damage, the chaos. I'm surprised there wasn't a broken Thor hammer somewhere because they always fucking do that. Okay. Bad guy won. Good guys have to struggle. Yada 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 yada. There were some typical things. There was a broken shield. Of course it has to be a broken shield. Captain America's shield, you know, is like a cardboard shield. There's a Hulk down in the cover. Anyways, and of course there's a Thor somewhere buried underneath all him. Whatever. You know, because Ultron, him and his adamantium body. How did he find all this adamantium? He's always getting destroyed, and he always comes back in adamantium. This motherfucker has a special stockpile of some shit. Anyways, my theory is Age of Apocalypse pretty much just turned to shit. It's kind of peaceful now, and it's all nice and pleasant. I think they're going to do the Age of Ultron universe and see how those characters deal with it and their own little universe of fucked upness, kind of like Age of Apocalypse was a whole universe of fucked upness. That's my theory. Am I wrong? Am I right? Am I crazy? Am I a bitter bastard? Let me know. Questions@peacebasement.com. All New X-Men number 8 was funny and awesome. And I do not like Captain America's helmet, but that aside, it is awesome. The two angels, past and present, help save Stark Tower, Avengers Tower, and Captain America's like, wait, why is there two of you? He goes to Avengers Mansion, they chit chat. He eventually runs into Scott. Scott kind of like, sup to him and all that stuff. It was really funny. It was really whimsical. There was a really funny moment with current Iceman and Kitty Pryde in which they're making fun of Beast and Captain America, and it was good stuff. Good stuff. Cable and X-Force. Colossus, who has some issues with his power. He can't fully transform into techno-organic steel or whatever the fuck that is. He does like patches unless he uses that vest that Cable gave him, because Cable has everything, of course. Well, him and Domino got it on. Oh yeah, he was rushing big ass. Yeah, over the yeah. Anyways, that aside, the team is on like a little hiatus. You know, Cable's riding a bike across Mexico and stuff. The two nerds are fighting it off. The Russian, the chick are fucking. It's a good little pause moment. It's a jumping on point too, if you ask me. Is it a good book? Am I looking forward to reading this? I'm iffy about it. I don't like this whole time travel shit, time travel future information. I mean, the timeline isn't, linear. I believe it breaks up into fragments, and yeah, I don't want to get into that. Okay, this is probably going to get me some hate mail. Superior Spider-Man #5. I liked it. I don't want Peter Parker to come back, or if he does come back, I don't know. I like Superior Spider-Man. He's a better Spider-Man. He kicks ass. He's his tech is so much better. The little spider robots and his goggles and shit. I mean, he's in love with a little person too. Adam, hey, that's all you right there. I like it. I really like it. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm not like the huge Spider-Man fan that Peter is, and a lot of our fans are actually. But I just liked it. I did, and I'm probably going to hear it next time I see Peter. Last but not least is Helheim. Now I was like, ooh, Helheim sounds badass. Oni Press. I like Courtney Crumrin, so I was like, yeah, let me jump on this. I actually, when I picked it up, I kind of just forgot about the cover and started reading it. And by the time I got to the end, I was like, wait, what the fuck? So I flipped to the front and I was like, oh shit, why did I not notice this? It's pretty much, I mean, there's a lot going on here. I'm not going to spoil it because I do want you guys to pick it up. It's Frankenstein, a monster of Frankenstein, excuse me, because his name wasn't Frankenstein. The monster of Frankenstein meets Vikings. Awesome! This is awesome! It's some good shit. It really is. I recommend this. I really do. The art's good. The fighting is awesome. It's just, yeah. Come on, Monster of Frankenstein means Vikings. Come on, man. Come on. That's it. I'm off. I gotta go watch TV, scratch my ass, and probably forget half the comic books I read today. See you guys.
Hello, my name is Indigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. But no, it's actually not Indigo Montoya. It's your buddy Pete. Back with a segment episode because, we got like a fucking couple of inches of snow and, none of us really wanted to come out in the snow. So fuck that.
Awesome! This is awesome!